to invite Dr. Neena Marupudi on the stage to share her journey and experiences in Kuchipudi dance. Dr. Marupudi is a renowned neurosurgeon at the University of Michigan, born in Texas. She trained in Kuchipudi under Srimati Ratna Garu and completed her Ranga Pravesam at the age of 16. We warmly welcome her to share her inspiring story with us.
I've gotten older since those photos. Good afternoon, everybody. Watching these dancers tonight, it brings back so many memories for me. My own dance journey began when I was about 5 years old, and I was visiting my grandparents in India. My tatya, my maternal grandfather, brought a Kuchipudi teacher to our village and to our home, so I could start learning classical dance. But my dance journey truly took off when I was about 8 years old, and I met my guru, Ratna Kumar. And every summer, my mother would take me to Houston, Texas, and I would spend weeks living in Ratna Auntie's home. You guys know how you call Usha Auntie? I called her Ratna Auntie, with other dancers who had traveled all over the country. We danced morning until night, and we practiced together, laughed together, struggled together, and we grew together. And I want all of the young dancers here tonight to know something. The friendships that you make through dance will be some of the most meaningful friendships of your life. There is something so magical about learning alongside people who share your passion. All of you in these first 3 rows. Some of my closest friends today are people I danced with decades ago. And there's a unique joy in dancing with your friends. A joy that is difficult to describe unless you've experienced it yourself, and you are all experiencing it now. But there is something maybe even more special than that. It is the relationship between a student and her guru. When I was young, I thought my Ratna Auntie was teaching me dance. Now that I'm older, I realize that she was teaching me life. She demanded excellence, she demanded discipline, she demanded that we showed up prepared. We had to be focused and willing to work. But she also wanted us to enjoy and love dancing and find the happiness in each of our performances. She loved her students fiercely. She celebrated our successes, comforted us through disappointments, and believed in us even when we did not fully believe in ourselves. She had become another mother to me. And what amazes me is that even now, decades later, that relationship has never ended. Think about that. I started dancing with her when I was 8 years old. I will not tell you how old I am now, but today I am a pediatric neurosurgeon. I am a wife. I am a mother myself.
You're a super lady, Neena.
Thank you. Yet whenever I have the opportunity, I still run back to Houston, Texas, to the Anjali School of Dance and dance with Ratna Auntie and learn something new. How many teachers can say that their students continue to seek them out 30 plus years later, not out of obligation, but out of love? That is the mark of a truly extraordinary guru, because the best teachers don't simply teach a skill, they shape a life. Now, many people assume that because I became a pediatric neurosurgeon, dance must have been just a hobby, that I eventually left it behind. But that's not really true. In many ways, dance helped make me the physician, the surgeon, the scientist, and the educator that I am today. You see, I always wanted to be a doctor. My father, who's also in the audience, is a colorectal surgeon, and some of my earliest memories are of watching him interact with patients. People loved him. Yes, even as a colorectal surgeon, people loved him, and they trusted him. They would stop him years later just to thank him. He saved lives. And even as a little girl, I remember thinking, what a beautiful calling. I wanted that for my life. But if you ask young people what it takes to achieve a dream, a big dream, to become a physician, a scientist, an engineer, a lawyer, an artist, an entrepreneur, or leader, many will tell you that successes require complete focus. No distractions, no side interests, no detours. Well, I completely disagree. In fact, I think that's exactly backwards, because some of the things that prepare you most for your future career may not look anything like your career at all. For me, that thing was dance. Dance taught me discipline, long before medicine did. Dance taught me endurance long before surgery did. Dance taught me precision long before I ever picked up a surgical instrument. Dance taught me how to stand on a stage. And this is important for all you young ladies. Dance taught me how to stand on a stage, vulnerable and exposed, and to trust myself. As one of relatively few women in neurosurgery, I can tell you that confidence has served me very well. Dance taught me storytelling. Every movement in Kuchipudi has meaning. Every glance, every expression, every piece of abhinaya, every gesture communicates something. As a physician, I spend my life listening to stories, understanding emotions, and helping families navigate some of the hardest moments they will ever face. And dance taught me empathy in ways I didn't understand until much later. And perhaps most important, dance taught me passion, a lesson I learned again years later during my neurosurgery training. So I have a really funny story to tell you. As a resident, this is where you're in your training in whatever specialty of medicine or surgery you're going into, I had one of the most incredible mentors. His name was Dr. Sandeep Sood. He was a pediatric neurosurgeon who's now retired, and he practiced in Detroit, Michigan at the Children's Hospital, Michigan. He was quite possibly the most brilliant neurosurgeon I had ever met. And one day, we were operating on a child with a very complex brain tumor. We had been in surgery for hours, and we were under the microscope, picking away at this tumor millimeter by millimeter. And at one point, Dr. Sood looked up and said, "Neena, go take a break. The office ordered Chinese food." So he told me to go, so I went. Now I have to confess something. I love fortune cookies. Not just the fortunes, I actually like the cookies themselves. So on my way back to the operating room, I cracked one open, and inside was not a fortune, but it was actually a question. And the question, I will never forget it. What is more important, intelligence or creativity? I thought about that question for a while, and when I got back to the operating room, I asked Dr. Sood, "Dr. Sood, what do you think? What is more important, intelligence or creativity?" He leaned back, he looked at the ceiling, he took a deep breath, then he went back to operating. And just before he put his instruments back into the field, he very quietly said, "Passion. Passion is more important than intelligence or creativity." And then he kept operating. But that was it. No long lecture, no elaborate explanation, just one word, passion. And I've never forgotten it, because over time, I realized he was absolutely right. Passion is what makes you willing to do the hard work. Passion is what gets you back up when you encounter failure. Passion is what turns talent into excellence. And passion is what makes intelligence useful and creativity meaningful. And that is exactly what dance gave me. I danced when I was happy, I danced when I was sad, I danced when I was frustrated, I danced when I was celebrating. And dance became a place where I could process life, a place where I could find joy. And it was a place where I could connect and reconnect with myself when everything else felt and currently feels at any moment overwhelming. And even now, after long days in the hospital, difficult surgeries, heartbreaking conversations with families, and the weight that comes with caring for children with serious neurologic disorders and conditions, dance still brings me back to my center. And that is the gift of Kuchipudi. It is not simply an art form. It is a refuge. It is a community. It is a language of emotion. It is a lifelong companion. So to all of the young dancers here tonight, my advice is simple. Do not think of dance as something separate from the rest of your life. Let it become part of who you are. Let it teach you discipline. Let it teach you resilience. And let it teach you friendship. Let it teach you courage. And most of all, let it teach you how to express your joy, your sadness, your strength, your vulnerability, and all your love. Because one day, whether you become a physician, a scientist, an engineer, a lawyer, or an artist, a teacher, an entrepreneur, or who knows, something none of us can even yet imagine, you may discover, as I very much did, that the lessons you learned through dance followed you there. And before I finish, I want to say one final thing. Tonight is also a celebration of a guru who has chosen to dedicate her life to these children. Usha Garu, or as our children so lovingly call you, Usha Auntie. Namaste, Usha Auntie. Thank you. Thank you for opening your heart, your time, and your extraordinary talent to our dancers and us as families. Thank you for understanding that what you are building here is much bigger than performances and costumes. You are helping shape confident young women. You're helping create friendships that will last a lifetime. You're helping teach discipline, resilience, grace, and again, passion. You are creating memories that these girls will carry with them forever. And perhaps most importantly, you're becoming the kind of mentor and guru they will continue to seek out, much like I did, decades from now, long after these recital programs have been put away. As a mother, I cannot think of a greater gift than knowing my daughter has someone like that in her life. I was blessed to have my Ratna auntie, and every child deserves a guru who believes in them, challenges them, inspires them, and loves them. And I see that in you. Your artistry is extraordinary, but your true gift is understanding that dance is not simply about creating beautiful performers or performances. It is about helping shape beautiful human beings. For that, and for all that you do for these children, we are deeply grateful. Thank you, and congratulations to all the dancers, and especially to our young graduates. May the joy of dance and kuchipudi stay with you for the rest of your lives.